This is the place. The Holy Grail. The Golden Fleece. The long striven after.
That's right, Steve. This is it.
You finally made it, then? You're actually sitting here in your own monogrammed study bedroom in Newcastle University. It's funny, that. You ending up here instead of Durham. Must be quite a record. You must be the only bloke to have been kicked out of university before he actually got there.
I just changed places, Steve. That was all. It was just a misunderstanding about the nature of the course.
Oh, yeah. So what time's slopping out, then, eh?
What do you mean, what time's slopping out?
Well, you know, when the screws come round and shoot back the bolts. Line you up with all the other detainees, take your paw down the corridor, empty your pail of slops.
Why, Steve, do you want to reserve some space in the bucket? How would you like to go? First class slop, second class slop? Or maybe you'd just prefer to travel gunge? Slopping out.
Oh, he's all right. It's like prison. It's like Chalky in here. You're locked in your own little Dartmoor, manacled to your books, gone down for 3-year computing studies. I mean, look at it. You couldn't swing a cat in here, even if they let you keep one, and they probably don't.
Well, it's just as well I didn't come here to swing a cat then, isn't it, Steve? Though no doubt if I had come to Newcastle University to do an honours degree in cat swinging, they'd have obliged me with a slightly larger room and a couple of boxes of aerodynamic moggies.
It's a nick, Bray. Academic servitude, solitary confinement. The old buildings are honeycomb of little cells, all full of prisoners who don't realise they're in captivity because their only criterion of freedom is having their own little cage.
Well, if you get out of my little cage and find one of your own, Steve, it would ease the congestion no end. And if you take your short yellow ostrich come singing banana with you, I'd be very much obliged. Who can that be?
Quick, hide the snout. Probably the head screw come round to turn your cell over. Raise out your hacksaw blade.
Oh, hello, Douglas.
Oh, hi. I was just returning your book. Thanks very much, Brian. It's very useful. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're welcome any time at all. Yeah, well, maybe I'll see you later on for a drink, eh?
Yes, fine. Thanks very much. Thanks for the book, fine. Cheerio.
That's Douglas, he's down the corridor.
Yeah, what's he specialising in, eh? Being a gormless Herbert.
He's just a bit nervous, that's all. You've got to make allowances. Just because someone is highly strung does not make him a gormless Herbert.
Oh, open your eyes, Bray. This university's full of gormless Herberts. I've been observing these students, Bray, and a lot of them are gormless Herberts. Knock-kneed gormless Herberts and all, some of them. And they're all sort of pimply as well, you know.
Oh, you mean like pimply, knock-kneed gormless Herberts?
You noticed and all, have you? There's a few of them about.
No, I have not noticed, Steve. Though I suppose you're the perfect complexion, eh? The well-squeezed spot. There's nothing amiss with your kneecaps.
Oh, they are, though, Bray. They're a right bunch of prats. I mean, they're just kids, half of them. Little nippers still wet behind the ears. They haven't been around. They don't know what real life is.
Oh, well, you've got to bear in mind, Steve, that they haven't all had your experience and maturity. I mean, you're 6 years in the Foreign Legion, your 3 suicide missions with the SAS. I mean, what with that and the crocodile wrestling, well, the rest of us are bound to appear a bit wet.
Oh, come on, Bray. You just got to look at the females. They all sort of stand around like they were waiting for someone to invent soft toilet paper.
I'll tell you what puzzles me, Steve. If you've got such vast resources, such reservoirs of resilience and vats of self-sufficiency, why don't you go out and find yourself a room and leave me to my studying?
Oh, sorry, Bray. Didn't realise I was interfering with your concentration. I'll just sit here. Let you get on with things. It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to, you.
All right, then. Why did you follow me to Newcastle?
I never followed you to Newcastle.
You what?
I never followed you here. I came of my own accord.
You followed me here like a two-berth caravan on a towing bracket. You follow me here like a vulture follows a carcass.
What, you mean like a fly follows a lump of dung do?
And there you are. You're always there. A human rucksack like Quasimodo's shoulder blades.
You really think a lot of yourself, don't you, Bray, to think that I was following you here?
All right, then. Why'd you leave London, eh? You had a job, you had the bedsit. Why did you follow me to Newcastle?
I told you. I'm on my way to France for the grape picking.
You chose a scenic route, didn't you, Steve? Going to the south of France via the north of England? Oh, look, Steve, I don't want to throw you out, but honestly, I could get into trouble.
Yeah, it's all right, Brian. It's okay. You don't have to apologise.
I mean, you must be able to find somewhere, surely. Look at Sonia. She found a place without any trouble at all.
Oh, yeah, Sonia.
What do you mean, oh, yeah, Sonia?
Well, I don't have to mean anything, Brian, do I? I just said, oh, yeah, Sonia.
Well, there's ways of saying things, Steve, and quite frankly, I don't like the way you said, oh, yeah, Sonia.
Oh, yeah, Brian.
What do you mean, oh, yeah, Brian? Hey, Steve, eh?
What do you mean, hey, Steve, eh? Hey?
Well, just what do you mean, oh, well, Brian?
What I mean, Brian, is that Sonia is never short of a wall to toss herself over. Sonia, the organic grappling iron.
Sonia is not a grappling iron.
Well, she's got the grabs on you, all right, isn't she, eh? Like a sucker on a bunghole. She's really got the fangs in. She's really got the hooks lodged. She's clamped on you, Brian, like a plunger lips.
Sonia is not a plunger lips. She came to Newcastle because I wanted her to. I invited her. I am glad she came.
Glad? You must have a warped sense of fun, then. You're never going to enjoy yourself while she's here, Bray. You can kiss all the nookie goodbye.
I didn't come here for nookie, Steve. I came here to study.
I mean, bringing your girlfriend with you to the university. It's like going to the fishmongers and taking your own kippers.
There's one thing you can do, Steve. You can get all your stuff together and get out of my room as soon as you like.
Do you want me to go then, do you, Bray?
Yes, Steve, I want you to go. I want to be rid of you. I want to be shut of you. I want you to leave me alone. I want you to push off the scram. Just please, 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 go away.
Hey, Bray, what do you fancy doing tonight, then, eh? I noticed we're a disco on at the Students' Union. Do you fancy it? We could suss it out, eh? Do you fancy that, do you, Bray? Eh? Do you think I could borrow one of your shirts, please?
Can I help you, miss?
Yeah, if you've got a minute, like if you're not hot on the scent, feeling collars and trying door handles and that.
Not too busy today, miss.
Because, I mean, I know you have a lot, like, generally on your plate and in your lunchbox, what with wrestling with burglary figures and patching up your riot shield and that.
Well, it's as we say in the force, miss. If the trouble's not here, it won't be long in coming.
I'm just saying that sometimes I think you fellas get a really bad deal, you know? I mean, like the ordinary PC and that.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that, miss. Thank you very much.
I mean, anyone can toss a milk bottle, but when it comes to dealing with unruly youths who can't get their modelling kits together because they've sniffed all the glue, well, I mean, that's a coin reversal situation.
Right enough, miss. Right enough. Well, it's been interesting talking to you.
Hey, I was wondering if you could give me some directions and that.
Certainly, miss. Where would you like to go?
Well, it's not in the guidebook, but I've been kind of looking for a head shop.
Head shop.
Yeah, are there any decent head shops in Newcastle?
That was head shop, wasn't it, miss?
Like where you can get a dab of patchouli oil or some sandalwood joss sticks for your incense burner. And your skins, you know? Hand-tooled leather craft. Radical bicycle spokes. Magic mushroom, you know?
All right, miss. Right. Now I'm with you. If you go straight up here, left again, just round the corner, there's a greengrocer. You should get some canny mushrooms there.
Getting some real headbangers in the pigs these days.
Yeah, take a seat. I won't be a minute.
Steve.
Right. Now, what is it I can do for you?
Well, I was just passing by, as a matter of fact, and I saw it with the welfare office. And, well, I'm having a slight problem at the moment with my accommodation requirements.
Oh, I see. What is it then, Steve? Landlord trouble? Smoke?
Oh, cheers. No, I'll have it later, thanks.
Right, so what's wrong with your digs, then, Steve?
Well, I haven't got any. In fact, I'm having to crash out on someone's floor, get a few winks that way, you know, which is a bit uncomfortable.
I can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting these red wheels on the knots of my spine, you know. And you can smell the floor polish all the time, and... well, it's interfering with the studies.
Well, we mustn't have your studies interfered with. After all, that's why you're here.
Yeah. Anyway, I was wondering whether you had a list of addresses, you know, that I might try for lodgings. Or perhaps a flat or something, you know. I don't mind if it's mixed. No, I wouldn't mind sharing with a couple of girls, you know. Maybe student nurses or trainee air hostesses doing their aeronautics. Or biology students, you know. I'm not fussy, anything like that.
Let's just go for the room first, shall we? And we'll sort out the company later, all right?
Right, OK.
Now, this would be very handy for you.
I mean, even bed and breakfast would be all right, you know, with some little old lady who's a bit lavish with the bacon and eggs. I don't mind being mothered.
Right. You're a first-year student, aren't you, Steve?
This is my first year in Newcastle, yeah.
It's unusual. You should have been offered a room in a hall of residence. Did you not get a form?
No, never got no forms, no.
Should never have happened. Look, what department are you registered with, Steve?
Well, I'm not actually registered with a department as such, you know. I think I must have missed the registrations. I think I were in the toilet or something.
Yeah, but I mean, well, what course are you signing on for, Steve?
Well, I'm not actually doing a specific course. In fact, I'm not signing on the academic register at all.
Then, what are you signing on?
Signing on the dole.
You're signing on the dole?
Yeah, I'm unwaged.
Look, Steve, to be, I don't want to be unhelpful, but to be eligible to make use of the student welfare service, you really do have to be a student. You're not a student, are you, Steve?
Well, not in the strictest academic sense, no. But I would be a student, only I haven't got the qualifications.
I see. Well, to be quite honest with you, Steve, under other circumstances, I might be prepared to help you, student or not. But when you come in here and spin a pack of lies saying sleeping on the floor is interfering with the studying...
It is interfering with the studying.
You're not even a student. How can it be interfering with the studying?
It's interfering with my brother's studying.
Oh, see, so your brother's a student?
Yeah.
Well, yes, even so, you can hardly expect us to find you accommodation just on the strength of that.
Yeah, but he just started here, you see, and he wanted me to be with him, sort of see him through the first few weeks, you know, till he built up enough confidence to be left on his own.
Oh, he's quite nervous, then.
Oh, yeah, he's very repressed, his Bray, you know. Brilliant mind, but he's a social incompetent. He's completely inept. You know, some days, he's gulping down the Valium like it was Smarties.
I'm sorry to hear that, Steve. Yeah. Look, maybe I should go round and see your little brother. Say that he's all right.
Yeah, right, fine, great.
Now, look, what's really the problem, eh?
Well, it started when he were a baby. He were abandoned in his pram, you see. So then he was taken into care. But when he couldn't stop wetting the bed, the matron used to bang him on the head with a saucepan, you know. Then after that, it just got from bad to worse. It was really terrible.
So it's all going sort of really well then, is it, Brian?
Oh, yes. Well, we've covered an awful lot of ground. We've done structured programming and mainframe configurations and software. Oh, it's an awful lot to learn.
Still, as long as you're enjoying it and freely associating with like-minded people of a similar disposition.
Well, hey, it's great news about the job. How's the flat?
It's not bad, actually, Brian. The other girls are sort of sociology students, so we have these really heavy raps, you know, about society and that.
Aye, here he comes.
Hello, Bray. Hello, Sonia.
Hello, Steve.
Well, have you found anywhere yet?
No. Had a list of places, but they'd either gone or they only wanted students. One glimpse of your pipe benders and they don't want to know. If I was welcome as a reggae band at a Ku Klux Klan meeting.
Well, Sonia's not a student and she had no trouble finding accommodation. In fact, she found a job as well in a vegetarian restaurant.
Oh, what are you doing there, then? Cleaning a lawnmower?
Vegetarian food promotes well-being, Steve. It's salutary. It's not a rancid mess of pottage. We don't eat compost heaps, you know.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't catch me having a meal round there.
Oh, that'd be good news for people wearing white shirts.
Coffee, please.
Oh, I meant to tell you, Brian. The guy who runs the restaurant, well, we were having this sort of meaningful interchange, and it turns out he's very strongly into Zen Buddhism and playing the banjo.
Oh. Got to pluck along a yogi.
And he also makes these sort of yoga mat carrier bags, like for carrying around your yoga mat. so that if it started to rain or something, your yoga mat wouldn't get wet because you'd have it in your special yoga mat carrier bag.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing worse than a wet yoga mat.
Oh, that sounds very useful, Sonia. Very useful indeed.
And another thing he does is he runs this counselling service for gay old age pensioners, Brian.
Gay old age pensioners, Sonia?
Yeah, well, like, Newcastle is like the gay old age pensioner capital of the North East. And like all these squads of gay old age pensioners all sort of aimlessly roaming the streets, starved of comfort and companionship. So he runs this counselling service to help them come out the closet, you know?
Well, if you haven't come out the closet by the time you're an old age pensioner, you may as well lock the door and flipping stay there. Well, thanks for warning us, Sonia. Remember, Bray, if you see an octogenarian wear a pink truss and gold army dentures, right, and he drops 5 pence on the pavement, don't pick it up.
All right, Steve, that'll do. That is quite enough.
Should never have come to Newcastle, you know. Should have stayed in London. We're stuck up the barbed wire Pennines, we're out of canoe.
Well, why don't you just go somewhere else, Steve? Because quite frankly, Brian and me and all the folks on latitude 54.5 wouldn't be specially bothered if you just crossed the meridian and evaporated yourself. I've got to work tonight, Brian. I'll see you tomorrow.
What's wrong there, then, eh? You two been having a bit of a tiff?
No, Steve, we have not. But I tell you this, if you're not out of my room, and I mean by tonight, you and I are going to have a bit of a tiff the size of World War III.
2 mushroom omelettes, 2 teas and 1 coffee. £4.15, please.
Show you tomorrow.
Cheerio then, Brian.
Bye-bye, Douglas.
Excuse me, is it Brian Webber, Computing Studies?
That's right, yes.
Hi, Brian. How are you? We talk about things. Would you like that? Okay. Good.
Hey, time's getting on, Steve. Do you fancy a drink? Oh. Cup of tea. Oh, well, I'll have it black.
Oh, I just want to show you something.
You there, Bray? Are you there?
What is it, Steve? What do you want?
Can I come in?
I'm very busy, Steve. I told you not to keep coming around.
Oh, can I come in a minute? Do you mind?
Well, the door's open. Come on, you know.
Hi, Bray. Are you busy?
No, Steve, I'm just sitting here for the sake of it. What do you want?
Well, I just wondered if you'd be having a break for a few minutes, you know. Whether you'd be having a pint. But I suppose you're tied up, eh?
Well, you must understand, Steve, I've got an awful lot on my plate. There are a lot of books clamouring for my attention. I mean, there's fair copies of notes to be made up. I can't just chuck things willy-nilly to go boozing down the Students' Union bar with you.
That book's upside down. What? That book is upside down. How can you read a book when it's upside down?
I was looking at a diagram.
Oh. Your shoelaces are undone.
I know. My feet what? It's a central heating.
Hey, what are all them black specks on the cup? It's all covered in tea,
Just
right?
leave things alone, will you, Steve?
Yeah, right, OK, yeah. Well, if you are coming down, I'm sitting in the corner near the fag machine by the one-armed bandit, you know, near the jukebox, by the door as you come in. So, you'll see me there if you come down. That's where I'll be.
You seem unusually familiar with the topography of the Students' Union bar.
Oh, yeah, well, been sitting in there a little while, that's all.
Oh. Well, I might see you, but I might not.
Right, OK then, Bray. Cheerio, then.
Bye.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Yeah.
So, you just dropped in on the off chance then, did you?
That was it, Bray, yeah. You know, just for a few quaffs of beer. No ulterior motives, no crypto subterfuge, anything like that.
I mean, you wouldn't by any chance be looking for a place to rest your weary head, lay your knackered bones, would you?
All taken care of, Bray. All taken care of.
Good, good. Well, I'm glad you popped in. Cheers.
Cheers.
Because I've been wanting to have a word with you about one or two little matters. What's this?
Oh, it's nothing. Oh, well, it's sort of like me scarf, you know.
And just how did it come into your possession?
I sort of... well, bought it.
And just what do you do with this scarf, Steve?
I cut it up into little strips and bandage up stick insects with third-degree ruptures. What do you think I do with it? Hang it round me neck?
These are university colours. You've no business with this. The only people entitled to wear these scarves are students.
Oh, drop off, Brian, will you?
I've half a mind to confiscate this. I've half a mind to report you.
Report me? You're not a prefect at school any longer, you know. Old stick-em in detention, Webber. Report me to who?
The university authorities, the powers that be.
Why, they got a special scarf patrol, have they? With dogs trained to sniff out scarves at 500 metres. Give it here, will you?
You're not fooling anyone, Steve. You're just making a big Burke of yourself.
I could pass for a student. You look more of a Burke than I do.
It's a St Mary's College scarf, Steve. St Mary's College for women only.
I thought I were getting some funny looks. So, what do you want to word about then, eh?
Oh, yes. Two things. The first one is this. I found this on the notice board in the Students' Union.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, would you like me to read it to you?
Yeah, OK.
It says, undergrad plumbing services. Special rates for students with plumbing problems. Pipe bending a speciality. Bidets installed. No blockage too big. For a good job well done, contact Steve Webber, care of Brian Webber, first year computing.
Yeah, well, I were hoping to make a bit of money, Bray, you know.
Undergrad plumbing services, it's enough to make your eyeballs roll right out of their sockets.
That's initiative, that is. It were in the paper. Small businessman. That's what this country needs.
Oh, and they don't come much smaller than you, do they, Steve? You're some sort of impresario, you are. You'll end up in a shop doorway in Oxford Street selling hankies out of a suitcase.
You should have left it there. I might have got some trade.
Not care of me, Stephen.
Well, I'd have given you something for your inconvenience. Commission.
I don't want 10% of nothing.
5% of nothing.
But what really annoyed me today, Steve, what really got my hackles up was a visit I had from a friend of yours.
Friend of mine? I don't know anyone in Newcastle.
No? How about the student welfare officer? Do you know him?
Oh, well, I were in a tight spot, you know, Bray. I sort of got carried away with the momentum of the story. You know, you open your mouth, your teeth take over, can't seem to stop them. You know how it is, eh?
I'm finding out, Steve, I'm finding out. Speaking that is as a mental depressive who's abandoning his pram outside Woolies to subsequently spend 7 years in care, wetting his bed 3 times a day and 4 times on Sunday and being hit over the head with a saucepan. I'm going back to my work.
Oh, hang on, Bray. Wait for us, will you? Bray, I haven't actually found anywhere to stay yet. Can I sleep on your floor another couple of nights?
No, Steve, you can't.
What am I going to do?
I don't know, I don't care. The grassy sward can be your pillow, the stars can be your counterpane, and a dead hedgehog can be your hot water bottle. I'm not interested. For all I care, you can hang by your feet in a belfry. Or maybe a sparrow will take you in for nest, breakfast and evening worms. Or failing that, you could always spend some of your own money and get a room for the night.
Look, it's cold, Brian. You wouldn't put a dumb animal out on a night like this.
Or wouldn't I? Thanks for reminding me, Steve. Just stay there, I've got something for you.
Hey, have you changed your mind?
No, but never say I left you on your own.
No budgies.
It's a canary.
None of them either.
Here you go, Colin.
There's a canary in there. What?
Just that Dad sort of entrusted me with Steve, sort of gave him to me to look after. And now I feel as if I've gone and lost him. And I'll get into trouble for it when I go home.
Poor canary, Brian.
And I haven't been to lectures all day, Sonia. I've been out looking for him. I must have tried every pub in Newcastle with a jukebox, but I couldn't find him anywhere.
Oh, Brian, come on.
Well, I just don't like to think of him on his own. Sleeping rough, maybe. Not knowing anyone. I mean, what's he going to do?
We've all got to strike out sometimes, Brian. We've all got to go a-wandering eventually. I mean, isn't life itself just basically a knapsack situation?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Sonia. You always talk a lot of sense.
I mean, once the milk's spilt, Brian, we wouldn't need dry cleaners if crying helped the carpet.
Hey, we'll have a drop more. We'll have another glass of wine. He will probably get a postcard from Steve in a couple of weeks from the south of France with shaky handwriting and grape stains all over it.
Yeah, yeah. So, what do you think of the flat then, Brian?
I think it's great. It's nice, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of snug, isn't it? Like, sort of cosy. I mean, it's really cosy, isn't it? I mean, it's a really cosy flat, yeah?
How's your flatmate? Will I meet her?
Yeah, she'll probably be in a minute. Brian, why don't we get a flat together? What do you think? There's a vacant room here, you know.
Hey, we could, couldn't we? I mean, I'm paid up at the Hall of Residence until the end of term, but then... and in the meantime, I could always, you know, stay for the occasional night.
Yeah, sort of like intermittently, in a spasmodic manner. In a desultory fashion. Brian?
Oh, hi. Hi, Sonia.
Hello, Charlotte. This is Brian. I've been telling you about him. This is Charlotte.
Hi.
Hello.
Shall I,
Oh, it's all right. There's someone coming in. It's somebody I found to take on the other room, Sonia.
That's great. Fine, yeah.
Yes, another student, I'm afraid. I hope you don't mind being outnumbered, doing first-year medicine.
No, that sounds okay. That sounds fine, yeah.
Just come in, will you? This is Steve, everyone. He's studying to be a doctor.
Sonia. Brian.
your pipe benders, Dr. Webber?